Any man give his life for Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, and Christ, and fall up under that UPK banner, is my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary.
Go to ground, 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 go to ground.
It's all about that warfare, boy.
Give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground.
It's all about that warfare, boy.
Take ground, 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 take ground.
My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down.
Take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground.
My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down.
Take ground, take ground, take ground. Now this ain't no movement, this a takedown. We will not be moved or intimidated. We ain't the type. You got a problem? Tell them cross the fucking line. My niggas ain't polite. Soldiers to the left and right. I die for every man body. Before I be a coward, I'd rather be a dead body. This will be my kingdom when the hour pass. You can either get with it or get flipped like an hourglass. We live by honor and no excuse. Just sit the prayer up to the Lord. I told him, then let all the terrorists loose. Hold your tongue or get rebuked, cause you made a truce. With a race to make merchandise out of my abuse. Scared of who? You got your gun, then pull it. Me and my niggas start to argue, it's about who gon' bite the bullet. It gon' take ground, take ground, take ground. Opponents better move slow. Attack dog for this truth, nigga, cool zone. Go to ground, 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 go to ground.
It's all about that warfare, boy.
Give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground.
It's all about that warfare, boy.
Take ground, 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 take ground.
My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down.
Take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Oh, thought you could cross us with no consequence, but you will pay dearly. You should've used your common sense. My zeal lit, that mean you could never prevail. Hey, with a true sit, hey, with warriors dwell. Be wise with them weapons, cause I promise. My nine just like my wife, she concealed, she modest. I know two things, a robber will not prosper. And any man harm me and my octave gon' meet the doctor. Cause this life is warfare, it's not an easy walk. Been watching my people die so you can miss me with that love talk. My UPK soldiers, any man try to cross your path, make him regret it. What that mean? Fall on his ass. Comparing me to you really ain't no contest. Long live one West. Say what? Long live one West. This for those who thinking we ain't ready for. Tell them back up. I'm about to drop something heavy for 'em. Go to ground, 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 go to ground.
It's all about that warfare, boy.
Give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground.
It's all about that warfare, boy.
Take ground, 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 take ground.
My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down.
Take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down.
Warrior with the hands, that's what I'm all about. Hunger in my eyes, vengeance in my mouth. They don't want no altercation. Situation gon' get critical. It's best that you be easy. The end gon' be biblical. Look, flow like a river. It's something like a miracle. Royalty in my veins, loyalty in my ways. Payback in every breath, plus revenge in my heart. The truth in every word. Bring light into the dark. And I ain't never lukewarm. Shit, I blazing in the season. Got plenty food for thought. Just gotta watch who I'm feeding. And I been walking with them angels. So I guess I got this pistol for no reason. Niggas barely breathing, criticizing all my achievements. Won't make me weak. Nah, it won't make me slack off. These niggas baby fat soft, better bear witness or back off. I be ripping shit like sackcloth. Dumb dogs all barked out. My hymen say I cup full, no room for emotion, so I pour my heart out. This road hard, but I intend to stay. And if it ain't UPK, then they in the way. My niggas righteous, they real, they down to suffer. Flow so deep, they drown a motherfucker. He say he in the truth, oh yeah? Well, this the home. And I don't hate them brothers, I'm just too loyal to my own. Plus what they believe, hard for me to follow. No rank me, no head, and I ain't leaving this body to live and sleep in hollow. So when they ask I'm UPK, you tell them absolutely. And I ain't trimming my ways for nothing, gotta execute me. Cause I can never die with my tail tucked between my legs. Shit I be thinking, watching my daughters tucked in their bed. They so smart, and Alana, she so beautiful, but they ain't like other babies, and they daddy far from usual. Now I'm missing cause I'm about my father's business. It ain't about this shit I used to do in that 98 Navy, the tan leather seats. See, without wisdom, this world make you weak. I found out that the truth was bitter, the lies are sweet. Tried everything, I guess me and Johanna had to meet. Now I make the blind see, and I make the dead speak. And teach both my little girls the day that they lie with a man, they better bring me bloody bed sheets. Chaos match the time, this Glock match my handpiece. And I ain't trying to take him out, but I will defend this house or take a check. 144 in that black trench on some hitman shit. She call me 47, praying for Armageddon. Me and my soldiers dressed for the wedding. Fuck the fame, ask why, tell them I'm loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign, loyal to the king. I want that straight lane to break the chain. Loyal to the king, the devils can't have me, bitch. I'm loyal to the king. That's right. Bring that hot flame, UPK, loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign, loyal to the king. I want that straight lane to break the chain. Loyal to the king, the devils can't have me, bitch. I'm loyal to the king. Bring that hot flame, UPK, loyal to the king.
Okay. Homie, I've been.
There's a king that's coming back to save our people. Now, we should be preparing ourselves for the return of our king, not stuck up in these denominations and religions that's destroying our people and destroying our nation.
So when we are in this kingdom and our brother and sister is doing wickedly in this kingdom, we must tell them, look, the world is expecting you to stay docile, to stay stupid.
That's what Christianity teaches our people. Teaches our people to hate one another and love the oppressor. Like, we'll never forgive one another for anything that another brother or sister do to us, but we'll forgive the oppressor in a heartbeat. There's something wrong with that, man.
Imagine living your life as a whole Christian your whole life, and life's good because you're a Christian and Jesus is white and everything's going great, and there's a landslide and the earth opens up and you go downstairs and you walk through this place and you see a black Jesus, man. Why is Jesus Christ black with an afro in the catacombs, man? This predates the Renaissance period.
So when you read the book of Genesis, the trees in the garden with other nations, a leaf, what does a leaf do to a tree? Cover the tree. So Adam took the covering of another nation. What's the covering of another nation? Their culture. So when the Most High saw him and said, yo, Adam, where are you, man? Where are you? Don't mean I can't find you. He was like, who is this nigga? Where are you, man? I don't know you.
Okay. So the Ba al Banya Yasha'ala wa Amarath al Hamma wa Aidya Yahweh. The Ba means speak. Al, when it's joined with something, so al Banya means what? Unto, right? Excellent. So al when it's joined with something means unto. Banya means children. Yasha'ala is Israel. So unto the children of Israel.
Like if it's one thing a hoe gonna do, a hoe gonna hold. But you ain't. She can't hold if there's nobody to hold with. And the thing she said at the end, where she said, I went back and I lied to him, and he still wouldn't do it. And then she threw up her hands and she said, well, he'll just be a brother. That's what he need.
That's brothers. Right.
If we have more brothers hoes like her wouldn't have no outlet.
There was a man in the land of Oz, his name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright.
There you go, the man called Job. I think Job is what, like afflicted. And that man was perfect and upright, meaning what? You can be perfect, man. Job was a man like everybody else, man. Job wasn't no angel, he didn't come from the heavens, and that man was perfect, meaning what? You can be perfect in the Bible. Being perfect is in the Bible.
Had fringes on my coattail way before Jimmy. Funny how the general ain't even see a penny. Better show respect, get smoked like a chimney. Keep my name out your mouth, don't even think it. Send a real Smith, hey, y'all know Jada Pinkett. Both ball heads, my grain above 50. Lost my man to the game, that pain that stuck with me. Had to find a cheat code to the street though, cause them niggas getting foul, shoot you like a free throw. Keep spitting acid like a Mino, and the nigga be the nicest with a mean flow.
And I'm screaming more fire, more fire. Give them more fire, more fire. I just gotta pray for more fire, more fire. I'm hoping he come with more fire, more fire.
All right, shalom, Israel, shalom. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua Barakatam to all the brothers. Yahweh Shema Alatam Bahashim Yahushua to all the sisters. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all doing well this Friday evening. You know what I'm saying? Lord in Christ. I hope y'all is not about to get ready to send your children out to the wolves. You know what I'm saying? I hope you're not ready to send your children out, you know what I'm saying, to go get, you know, sweets and chocolates from strangers, which otherwise you would not tell them to do. And I pray, you know, all our brothers and sisters have that wisdom. But for anybody in the world, you know what I'm saying, this is for you to not, you know, this is for you to understand, you know, do you serve the Most High or do you serve Halloween? Do you serve your oppressor? You know what I'm saying? Do you serve your slave master? All right, before we get into the topic, I'm going to do the announcements like here. All right, with the ISUPK start out 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, and the Commanding General Yohana. You know what I'm saying? Since 1969, we've been telling the truth about the Bible, the truth about, you know, the lies we learned in Christianity, the truth about what Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, who we are, and what it is we need to know. All right. Hold on. Somebody said, hold on. Let's get. So shalom to everybody that's in the live. I see someone named Big Bible, Lord in Christ. I see Mariah Allah, shalom Adawani, how about Shemi Al Shabarakatah. All right, I see a brother, a trooper, Regashia Allah, shalom, Yahweh Shemi Al Shabarakatah. All right, hold on. Let me get. I see Banyamyan. All right, Yahweh Shemi Al Shabarakatah. I see somebody named Quentin. Quentin says, "What are you doing? Friday is a white man's day made up by a white man. We cannot be using our oppressors' days." Yeah, absolutely. We in here, we in the ISUPK, we do not celebrate this white man's day. We do not celebrate this pagan holiday, which we're going to go into a bit about, you know, a little bit about the history in this class, right, of what Halloween is and why it is that there's so many Christians sending their children out tonight dressed as witches and goblins and devils and ghosts and all these things. Like the ghost is just the cheapest outfit. You just put a bed sheet on. Why there's so many Christians sending their children out in bed sheets to go collect sweets from strangers? You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into this class. All right, shalom also to Quadam. All right, Yahweh Shemi Al Shabarakatah. I see, okay, so Banyamyan is Ira. All right, so Ira, Banyamyan, Banyashal, Most High in Christ. All right, shalom. Also, shalom to Kayala. Yahweh Shema Allah Ta'ala Shemi Al Shai. All right, Most High in Christ. So let's get into tonight's class. I'm going to share my screen real quick. The first thing I'm going to do, so we had Ira state his registry. Kayla, could I get you to also state your registry? Most High in Christ. So Kayla, Bath Yahawada, Bath Yasha'ala. All right, so what she said was Kayla, daughter of Judah, daughter of Israel. Okay. Everyone, you will want to know how to state your registry. So those of you who might be new to class, you want to be able to learn how to state your registry, all right, in Hebrew. So I'm going to show y'all real quick. I'll share my screen and get this up. All right, boom. So see right here, we have the Hebrew alphabet, which we're going to go through in just a moment. All right, this right here is how you would state your registry in Hebrew. Okay, you'll say your name, whatever your name is, whether it's, you know, myself, Ra'alban, Ira,
Quadam, you know what I'm saying? Regashia Allah, Mariah Allah. You'd say your name. Then you'd say Ban or Bath, right? Ban would be son. It's like, you have a question?
It's not sharing.
Oh, it's the water. Let me put this up, right? Salakia. All right, so as you see, you put your name, you'll say Ban or Bath. So Ban means son or son of. Bath is daughter of. Then you'll say your tribe in Hebrew, right? Whether it's Yahawada, which is Judah, Banyamyan, which is Benjamin, Loya, which is Levi, Shammai, is Simeon, Manasseh, Manasseh. Whatever your tribe is in the Hebrew, you'll say your tribe. If you're not sure how to say your tribe in Hebrew, let me know what your tribe is in English, and I'll let you know the Hebrew, how to say it. Right? If you're not sure what your tribe is, full stop, just let me know where you're from, like your background, your history, and I'll let you know what tribe it is you're likely from. All right, so you say your tribe, then again you'll say son or daughter, so Ban or Bath, Yasha'Allah, which is Israel. All right, so this is only for, you know what I'm saying, the 12 tribes of the house of Israel. All right. Okay, cool. So next thing, so I'd like everybody to state their registry, you know, in the comments, right? Hold on. Ba-da-ba-da-bum. Okay. All right, shalom to I see somebody named Brooke, Lord in Christ. All right. Someone says, all right, it's Quentin. Is it the same person? Yeah. Quentin says, I have a question on a serious note. I wasn't being serious before, but could we be friends with a white man? Okay, well, you know, the Bible says to trust not your enemies and set him not by thee. So me personally, I wouldn't look to be friends with a white man. You can be cordial with them. Like if you work with them, you might slave with them. You know, you don't have to be mad at every oppressor you see. You don't have to call every oppressor you see the devil. You can be cordial as you go about your day-to-day life, but I wouldn't make friends personally with a friend is somebody you trust. You know, a friend is somebody you like let into your inner circle. You tell your secrets to. A friend is somebody who's meant to be there at a time of adversity. The Bible says to trust not your oppressor and set him not by thee. It says something like, lest when you fall, he seeks to overtake you and take your seat. All right, that's what the Bible says. So I wouldn't recommend you make friends with oppressors. You know, saying you should make friends with blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. Your friends should be those who you can trust. All right. If you choose to trust your oppressor, I mean, there's plenty of brothers and sisters who have trusted the oppressors and ended up in the grave, ended up being hunted, ended up being invited out to work socials, and it turned into you being hunted. All right. Hold on. Most Sign Christ. I see Regashia Allah put in his registry. Regashia Allah Banya Hawada, Banya Shala. Most Sign Christ. I see the sister Marisa. Shalom sis. Yahweh Shalom Allah Thaba Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, so let's get into tonight's topic. Before we do that, Kayla, could you read us through the Hebrew alphabet, Baba Kusha?
Come on, sir. Abba, Ga, Da, Hawa, Za, Ka, Taya, Ka, La, Mana, Sa, I, Pa, Taza, Ra, Sha, Da.
Most Sign Christ. Most Sign Christ. All right, excellent work. All right, if there's anybody who is unfamiliar with the Hebrew alphabet or needs the Hebrew alphabet sheet, make sure you reach out. I'm gonna put this in the comments actually. Make sure you reach out to us by the email or Facebook or whatever social media you have, either myself or the ISUPK school, ISUPK UK. I'm gonna also put, if there's anybody still working on obtaining their Hebrew name, I'm saying you're attending classes, you're shedding yourselves of the world, you're doing your 90 days, make sure you fill in this attendance sign-in sheet. All right, so I'm gonna try and pin both to the top. Let me go. Give me 1 second while I pin all these. Pin the comments on each page. All right, bada bing, bada boom. All right, so if you want to partake in the Hebrew classes, like you see Kayala right here, I'm saying make sure you contact, ISUPKUK@gmail.com. Contact the school. We could look at getting you the Hebrew sheet so you can start learning properly, and getting you in class. All right, cool. So that is that. All right, so let's get into tonight's topic. All right, tonight's topic. Do you serve Halloween or Samhain or let me look up how you pronounce this word, because it's an old Celtic word. All right, which is to do with them Irish folk. They speak a little different. So it's not exactly Samhain. How would you pronounce this? Let me look up pronunciation. Sohan, I think it's pronounced. All right, Sohan. Oh, hold on. It's pronounced as sound. All right, so do you serve sound or do you serve the Most High? All right, what we're going to do is we're going to read some scriptures which let you know, give you an indication of what you should be doing. All right, should you be serving Halloween? Should you be dressing up as some, some goblin or ghoul or them 304s love to dress up as some sexy cat or something? Should you be doing that today or tonight? Should you be doing that, or should you be serving the Most High and not doing that? Well, let's read the Bible, okay? All right, before we do that, hold on. Shalom to Nichelle Taylor. All right, Lord in Christ. Sorry, Marisa State of Registry. Bat Banyamyan Banyash Bath Yashalas like you. All right. Hold on. Someone says, I'm in Toronto. Is there any in Toronto that I should be a part of? Sorry for interrupting. I just recently found out about my true identity. Okay, Most High in Christ. And in terms of Toronto, I believe we do have, what you want to do is go to ISUPK.com. I believe we do have, it's either a school in Toronto or in Montreal. But I do know we have a school in Canada, or we have brothers in Canada. All right, let me look this up real quick. Let's see if I find. We have, hold on, look up Toronto. Yeah, Toronto. Do we have Montreal as well? Yeah, we got both Toronto and Montreal. All right, so Toronto, let me click on Toronto. We have a school in Toronto. All right, it's 41. I'm gonna give you the number to the school. All right, that should be it right here. This is the school, and put in the comments for Toronto. All right, so make sure you call that number and get in the class. I call that number, speak to the brother in Toronto. You know what I'm saying? Find out where the school is. It's in Upper Darby. All right. Okay. And you can get in class and learn more about your true identity, as you said. All right, cool. So let's get into breaking this down. So what we're going to read two scriptures. All right, two scriptures which give us the answer to what we should be doing. All right, what we should be doing today and what we should not be doing. Okay, so I'm going to read first Proverbs 3 and verse 31. Okay, Lord, could you read me the first phrase right here? And that's going to be these two parts. Al Thakwana Ah. All right, Most High in Christ. Al Thakwana Ah. Okay, perfect. Right? So Al Thakwana Ah. Right? Could you read on? Could you give me the next two parts? Ba'ayash. Kamas. Right? Kamas. Okay. So Ba'ayash, Kamas. Okay. Go ahead. Let me get the next two parts.
Wa'al Thabakar.
Wa'al Thabakar. Okay, perfect. And then the last two parts.
Bakal Darakiwa.
Bakal Darakiwa. Okay, perfect. All right, well done. The sister read this scripture perfectly, right? Now, I want to ask, before we go into break it down, are there any words or anything you recognize from any root words or anything you recognize?
Al. So the al tha. Is this al would be unto for this one, or would it be?
In this case, now I'll usually, when joined with something, is unto. In this case, the word that follows is a verb, right? So the verb here would actually be kwana'a. The tha is a preposition for you, right? Meaning thou, right? So in this case, the al means the same thing as like la'a, right? It means don't do this, okay? But yes, al usually, and we have al later on to mean unto. Okay.
I want to say Bakar again, like from last week, but I can't remember what it meant.
Bakar, okay, you picked it out. Check your notes from last week. Let's see if you got it. So we have Bakar. And if anybody, of course, if there's anybody in the comments, if you all recognize any of these words, I like to do this to see, you know, if there's anything people remember before we go in and just break the whole thing down. Okay. Also to Quentin Ayandabar, you know what I'm saying? Mariah Allah, most High Christ, most definitely. It's a good thing to have your children involved in class. You know what I'm saying? If you have any children that you want to learn the Hebrew language, they learn English, they go to the school and learn some other language, learn French or Spanish. Let your children learn Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? Get them involved in these classes. All right. Also, shalom to Tazapwan, Lord in Christ. Slacky, go ahead.
To choose.
To choose, most High in Christ. All right. So Bakar means to choose, right? So let's go into this full phrase, right? So we have choose here, which would be a verb. So it says wa'al thabakar, right? What do you think that would mean? So we have wa, which is the preposition, meaning what? And. Okay, we have al, but it's next to a verb. So you're basically saying, don't do this. All right?
Like, you will not choose or force not to choose.
Exactly, right? And don't choose or and choose not, right? I'm gonna put and choose not. That's how it's kind of written in the scripture, right? And choose not. Okay, so don't choose. Right, and the thigh is saying, you're basically saying you don't choose, right? Is there anything else you recognize?
Darak.
Darak. Okay, what does darak mean?
Darak by itself means way.
Exactly, way or path, right? Okay, so we have darak or darakyawa. Darakyawa would mean his way, right? The y at the end is a similar to like the possessive adjective, which would be his. Well, in this case, it is it's like it's like this. You could use the possessive adjective being his or like of him, right? It could be he, him, his, right? So this darakyawa would be like the way of him or his way, right? And then what does this part mean? So the ba here is a preposition. And then you have the word cow. You know what the word cow means?
In every or on any. Ba is like in or on, right?
And
then cow is all or every.
Yes. Right? So all or every of his ways, right? Or all the ways of him. So we're saying choose not all or choose not on. It uses ba because you're choosing, like to say choose on, like in another verse, it was like choose on Israel, right? In this case, it's choose or choose not on all of his ways or all the ways of him, right? Or on any, right? So choose not. I could put on, but it's not necessary as long as we understand that the ba would mean on in this context, right? On, in, or with, right? So it'd be just any, which is what cow is like all, every, or in the context of something like thou shalt not do any servile work, right? He uses that word cow, right? Cow, I should say, right? You should not do all servile work, right? So any of his ways, okay? Choose not any of his ways. Okay, is there anything else? Go ahead. Ayash, which means what?
It usually means man, right?
That's correct. That's absolutely correct. Okay, so we have the word ayash, right? So it would be the ba here would again be on, right? Then you have ayash, and then you have chamas, right? So let's go into the word chamas, right? Which is where the Jewish man gets Hamas from, right? Which is actually pretty, it makes sense, right? Hamas today, I guess they named it that because of this word, right? Hamas or Hamas in the Hebrew, right? It means violence or violent, or oppressor with H376, which is the word, get it, is the word Ayash, right? So this word, the two words together, like Ayash, Hamas, it means, it transliterates to the violent man, right? Or the cruel man. But those together means the oppressor, which is the same thing, right? He is the violent man. He's the cruel man. He's the oppressor, okay? So I'm going to put the oppressor, okay? So let's get into this first word, right? So this first word, so we have al, which means, did I switch it back? Yeah, I switched it back. We have al, which means to do not, right? Then we have thakwana. Again, tha is that preposition of you to do something, right? Or in this case, to not do something. Then we have kwana. So let's get into kwana, right? Kwana right here is a verb meaning to be jealous or to be envious, right? To be jealous or to be envious, okay? So al thakwana means to envy not, to not what's going on here? Hold on. Let's do emojis. All right, hold on, slow down. All right, let's do it here, right? Envy not. Okay, so envy not the oppressor and choose not of his ways, right? So what is the way that the oppressor is doing to, hold on, so I can switch it back. All right, right? So al thakwana means to envy not, or to not be jealous of, right? Don't be jealous of the oppressor and choose not any of his ways, right? One of his ways is what's going on today. It's the oppressor's ways to dress up as a ghoul or goblin and in the middle of the night, and everyone's wearing masks and you can't see the identity of anybody, but you're sending your children out to get sweets, to go round, to knock on to random strangers' houses, to knock onto strangers' houses and ask them for food. In any other circumstance, you'd think that was crazy. But this is the oppressor's ways, and you have so many of our brothers and sisters who unfortunately are trying to be like their oppressor, and they are envying his ways. The oppressor's ways is Christmas. The oppressor's ways is Easter. The oppressor's ways is Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day and Carnival. All those things are the oppressor's ways, and the Most High tells us not to envy those ways. Don't envy it. Everything the oppressor does is pagan. Everything the oppressor does is against the Most High. So we are not to envy his ways. Why should we be jealous of something that is against God's wisdom? Why should we feel bad, or should we feel, like you feel bad because you don't celebrate Halloween, but it's for the kids? Why should you force your kids to celebrate some pagan holiday because you don't have the damn integrity? You don't have the balls. You don't have the balls to not celebrate Halloween. You're sending your children out to strangers, to the wolves. Anybody could just, your kid's knocking on some random stranger's door. Anybody could just snatch that kid inside for them never to be seen again. Anybody could be on the street in some mask, the identity hidden, and just, snatch your kid from out the bushes or unalive somebody never to be seen again because you envy the ways of your oppressor. Because you want to celebrate a pagan holiday just like your oppressor does. You just want to do anything that master does. Envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. All right, and Halloween, let's get into the pagan origins of Halloween, just real quick. All right, Halloween has its roots in the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, right, is how it's pronounced, which marked the end of summer and the harvest and the beginning of winter. The Celts, which are your ancient Irish, believed that the boundary between worlds of the living and the dead was thin, allowing spirits to return and mingle with the living. So as to ward off malevolent spirits, people lit bonfires, That's why everyone's gonna be lighting fires and lighting fireworks tonight, disturbing my damn sleep because they're warding off evil spirits. They're trying to ward off evil spirits by lighting fireworks in the sky. They wore costumes and sometimes left out food to appease them. So what is it when you leave candy outside your door? You're leaving sweets and chocolates and apples and whatever the hell they leave outside their door. This is the custom. They wore costumes to do what? Matter of fact, let's read it right here, right? It says the bonfires were central to the celebration. Household fires were extinguished and people relit them from the communal bonfire, which was believed to help ward off evil spirits. Today's time, everyone just fires off fireworks. Everyone just fires off fireworks, and that's what they do. They don't even know why they're doing it. Costumes and disguises. It's like people wore costumes and masks to disguise themselves from evil spirits. That's why everyone's dressing in some costume to mask their identity. It said right here, appeasing spirits, hold on. Families would honor their ancestors by leaving out food and places at the dinner table for them. Some also believe that scary carvings were used to deter evil spirits. That's why you'll carve a pumpkin with some scary face to deter evil spirits. What are you dressed in as a damn ghoul and goblin? That's why you leave food out. They make it commercial and make it, you're leaving the food out for children to make it seem all fun and whatever. The oppressor is he's amazing at making wicked things seem fun or seem good, as if you should do them. The oppressor, he's the devil the Bible speaks of. He will have you doing something that is completely against the Most High, but he almost makes like he'll put it in Christian church. And now you have Christians celebrating. Matter of fact, that's the next paragraph. You have Christians celebrating this Halloween, which to do with evil spirits. I thought y'all didn't like evil spirits. All right, Christian influence. This is the early Christian church seeking to reframe pagan festivals. Just like every other thing they serve in that Christian church. Christmas is a reframing of a pagan festival. Easter is a reframing of a pagan festival. Everything they do in that Christian church is pagan. They later established All Saints' Day, also known as All Hallows, on November 1st. Right? So tomorrow is All Hallows Day. And the evening before, which is tonight, is All Hallows Eve, and later became Halloween. That's all it is. It's a pagan tradition. And you're sending your kids out. You're celebrating this pagan tradition, putting candy out, dressing up like a whatever the hell you dress up as. Putting some bed sheet over your head is pagan. It is absolutely pagan. And what does the Bible say? Envy not the oppressor. Share this tab. Envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. All right? Or really it would be envy thou not is how it's written, right? Which is the same thing. Like the tha is thou, right? So like envy thou not the oppressor and choose thou none of his ways, right? It'd be the same thing, right? So you can write it either way, right? Let's see. So I see some of these comments coming in. All right, shalom to, I see somebody named Deseron checking in from Kenya. All right, Lord and Christ. I hope you're a brother. All right, we got so the Jewish men call the Palestinian people violent. They must be joking. Yeah, that's the oppressed. That's the devil the Bible speaks of. Like he'll call a man that he is bombing. He call a man that he broke the treaty to. The same way the oppressor calls black people violent. They call us violent. Meanwhile, they were the people that were enslaved, lynched, sexually abused us. But we're the violent ones. We're the predators. He called the Hispanics super predators. He calls the Native Indians or the Native Americans, he calls them savages. That's your oppressor's culture. That's your oppressor's culture. He is the violent beast, but he calls everybody else violent. I mean, good night. Yeah, you'd think they're joking, right? Hold on. Let me get some more of these comments. Ross says, and it clearly doesn't work since you have to do it the following year again, right? Right. You clearly ain't warding off no evil spirits if you have to do the same thing every year. It's clearly not working. All right, I'm right. Well, someone says, yeah, Most High, his brother said, God, he just stays there. Most High Christ, no sweat. I just had to make sure. You never know. You know what I'm saying? Most High Christ. All right, I appreciate it. We got somebody said Leviticus 18 and 21. Let me see what that says. Hold on. Leviticus 18 and 21. Is that the one where it says you shall serve no idol? Leviticus 18. I'm gonna get it for the brother out of brotherhood. Most High Christ. We got it's a good scripture, right? It says right here, share it. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord. Right? So in this time, there was some fake god, some pagan idol called Molech, and people would sacrifice their children and throw them into a fire to sacrifice their child to this false idol, this false god called Molech. And what do you do today? You're celebrating this pagan festival and you're sending your children through the fire. You're sending your children to strangers. Any other day, you teach them about stranger danger. Stranger danger. Don't speak to random people you don't know. Don't walk with people you don't know. Don't go to the house or knock onto the door of people you don't know. Any other day, you tell them these things. But in this day, to serve Halloween, to serve Shahon or Som, right? You let your children pass through the fire. Your seed, you let your seed pass through the fire to just replace Molech with Som. Or I'm just gonna say Samhain. I can't say the Som stuff, right? You're letting children pass through the fire to Samhain or Som, right? And you're profaning the name of God. If you believed in God, why in the hell do you need to dress up as a ghost to ward off evil spirits? You should believe in the power of the Most High. You should serve Him and believe in His strength. Why do you need to leave sweets outside your door? You should believe that the Most High is going to protect you. But Christians don't believe in God. Christians believe in Som. Christians believe in Halloween. That's what they believe in. All right. So let's move on to the next scripture. So we got Proverbs 3 and 31. All right. So al thakwanaa ba'ayash kamas wa al thabakar bakal darakiwa. Right. Envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. Okay. Let's get the next verse. So Kayla, over to you. Let me get these 3 parts, if you could.
Ka Amar Yahweh.
Ka Amar Yahweh. All right, Most High Christ. Let me get the next parts. So these 2 parts right here.
Al-Darak.
Al-Darak. Okay.
Hagawayam.
Hagawayam.
Continue.
Yeah, continue.
Al-Thalamadwa.
Al-Thalamadwa. Yama-Athwath. Yep. It's like Wa-Ma-Athwath. My mistake. Wa-Ma-Athwath. Hashemayim. Al-Thakathwa. Kaya Yakathwa. Hagawayam. Mahama. All right, perfect. All right, cool. So Ka'amar, Yahweh, Al-Darak, Hagawayam, Al-Thalamadwa, Wama Athwath, Hashemayim, Al-Thakathwa, Kaya Yakathwa, Hagawayam, Mahama. Okay, are there any words here that you recognize?
Amar.
Amar. Okay, which means what?
To sing.
To say, exactly. All right. And then what is the next word here? Yahweh, which is the Lord. Right? Now this word ka, so we're going to get this phrase. The word ka, I'm going to show you over here, means thus. Right? It means thus. If I go into it, it means thus, here, or so. Right? So in this manner. Right? So this is how the Lord said. Right? Or this is how saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord. Right? Okay, so let's get back over here. Right? So Ka Amar Yahweh is thus. Select what I do right here. Hold on. Take this out. Thus saith the Lord. All right, so thus saith the Lord, or thus saith Yahweh, right, which is the Lord's name in Hebrew. Okay, go ahead. Is there anything else you recognize? Al-Darak, right? So we have al here, which would mean the more unto, right? Unto. Okay, and then you have Darak, which means way or path, as you said, right? So it'd be like unto, or like how it'd be translated because of the context of what we're going to read going forward. You could just say the way, or you could say unto the way, right? Unto the way would be the transliteration, meaning you're translating it part for part, right? Okay. Is there anything else you recognize? Al-Thalamadwa. Okay. Right. And what do you recognize from there?
Is it like unto your learning? Or Lamad is learn, right?
Yes.
Lamad by itself. And then unto thou or thee. That's what that is, right?
Yeah, the Thalamadwa is like you should learn.
You should learn. Okay.
Right? And then we have al, which in the context, because it's next to a verb, it's not going to mean the unto, but it's going to mean the not, right? And the same thing as la'ah, like we did wa'al thabakar, right? It's the same thing. So al thalamadwa, right? Which would be, go ahead.
So you should not learn?
Exactly. Okay. Right? Exactly. Learn not. Right? Or like thou shall learn not, right? The same thing, right? So you can just put it as learn not. This is talking to you, right? Second person. Okay. Is there anything else you recognize? Kaya.
For.
Right. Kaya, right? Is for or because, right? We're going to get this word a bit later, this other word, this yekathwa. All right, we're going to read into it later, but kaya means for or because. Okay, exactly. Is there any other words you recognize? Okay. There's one word. All right, so we have this saith the Lord, unto the way. Then we have ha-gawayam. All right, ha-gawayam. We have ha as a preposition, meaning the. We have gawayam, which comes from gawaya, which is nation, right? Or heathens. Right? So like unto the way of the nations, or the way of the heathen, which is the other nations, those that are not Israelites, right? So unto the way of the heathens. You have a question?
I think I recognize another one.
Okay, go ahead. Shemayim, right? Mm-hmm. Which means what?
Heaven.
The heavens, right? Exactly.
That's the only definition for that word, right? Heaven, the heavens.
Yes, like the heavens or the sky, right? So the heaven, or I think because of the previous word, it's gonna be of heaven, right? So there's no Hebrew word for of, right? The previous phrase is gonna make sense when I break that down, right? So thus saith the Lord, unto the way of the heathens, learn not. So learn not the way of the heathens, right? Then it says wa ma'athwath, right? So we have wa, which is and, ma, which is of, right? So and, of, or from. Then you have the word ath, or athwath, which is the plural, right? So let's go into this word. And go on this side. You have, it puts it as awath, right? Which would really be ath. right? That's the root word. It means a sign, right? A sign or a signal, right? So, and of the signs of heaven, right? And of the signs of heaven, then you have al thakathwa. So like I need to share back this tab, right? So and of the signs, so wa ma'athwath. So you have and of athwath would be signs, right? It's the plural of ath or awath as it says here. Okay, Hashemayim, the signs of heaven, right? Which is like the stars, the sun, the moon, right? Those are the signs of heaven. Okay, in the Bible it says the stars, the sun, and the moon were given to us for signs, for seasons, right? So on and so forth. For time, I think is the last one, right? For signs, like how the three wise men followed the star, right? That's a sign of heaven. Right, you have like the northern star, or there's something where you can figure out where north is, right, or something like that. These things are for signs, right? They're not to serve as gods. They're not to serve as horoscopes and whatever the heathen serve them as, but they're for signs, for seasons, and for time. Okay, like it's nighttime when the moon is out. You know, it's nighttime when it's dark and the moon and the stars is out. It's daytime when the sun is out. It's a sign. It's a time, right? Then you have al thakathwa. So let me get into this word right here. All right, the word, the part of thakathwa, the verb here is pronounced as kathath, right? So I'm gonna get this word here, kathath. Okay, let's get into it. All right, kathath is a word which means to be dismayed or to be afraid or amazed, right? To be to prostrate. I mean, good night. To bow down, like how you would be dismayed or you prostrate to the Christmas tree when you bow down to it to put your gifts underneath. You know what I'm saying? You're scared to not celebrate Christmas. You're afraid to not celebrate Halloween. Because you're a Christian, I understand. You're just shattered and dismayed at it that you can't not do what your oppressor does. You're just so broken down and so weak that you can't not do what your oppressor does. I implore you, brother and sisters, to get some strength. You're going to need it. You're going to need some strength, some integrity. You're going to need some cojones. Some of y'all sisters, y'all gonna need some. Y'all ain't gonna need cojones, but y'all gonna need some integrity to stand up against something. You need that, right? So we're gonna have dismayed, right? So the kath, so thakathwa would be thou be dismayed, right? So al thakathwa is be not dismayed, right? Be not. Hold on. What's it doing here? Just like give me one sec. What's it doing? All right, select the text. So be not dismayed. Right. So at the signs of heaven, or I did not spell that right. At the signs of heaven, be not dismayed. Okay. Then you have kaya, right? Kaya. For are dismayed, it says ya yakathwa, right? So whereas tha would be for you to not be dismayed in this context, right? Or for you to be dismayed if it didn't have the al. This ya would be like he, for he is dismayed. And who is the he? The he is Hagawiyam, the heathens, right? So really I'll do this as one phrase, right? So kaya yakathwa Hagawiyam is for the heathens are dismayed. For the heathens are dismayed. Okay, and then you have mahama, right? So ma is the preposition meaning of or from. In this case, it's going to be of. And then you have hama, which comes from the word ham, which just means them, right? The heathens are dismayed of them, right? They're dismayed of the signs of heaven, right? The sun, the stars, the moon. Even with this Halloween, They're dismayed of the seasons changing. Like it changes from summer to winter, like right in autumn. And all of a sudden, this means that the link between the other world and real life or the afterlife is weak in this period of time. So you need to dress up as some monster. You need to dress up as some otherworldly creature so they don't find out that you're a human. The heathens are dismayed at the signs of heaven. A season changes and they make a pagan festival out of it. They make some pagan ritual and holiday out of a season changing. Even the winter solstice or whatever it is that Halloween is, not Halloween, the Christmas is based off. It's nothing to do with Christ's birthday. And even if it was, Christ did not celebrate his birthday. That's not Israelite custom. To serve yourself. That's heathen custom, right? But the heathens, like a season changes, or it's the darkest day in winter, and they make a festival out of it. They make traditions out of it because the heathens are dismayed at these signs of heaven. Israelites are not. The children of God are not dismayed at the signs of heaven. So do you serve Halloween? Do you serve a season changing? Or do you serve the Most High? You know what I'm saying? All right, so that's that. All right, so that's that part of the class. Okay, are there any questions or anything anybody wants to ask before we move on to the next half of the class? La, okay, no sweat. All right, so what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna drop the screen share and we're gonna start reading from the Sabbath service verses. All right, it's gonna be in Leviticus 23 and verse 29. Okay, so let me stop sharing and then reshare. Let me reshare the full screen. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so I should have had my phone ready with the. Hold on, let me grab this real quick so I can still see the comments. And Kyla, let me know if there's any comments worth responding to. Where's my? It don't matter. All right, so Leviticus chapter 23. Let me get on here. All right, Leviticus 23 and verse 29. All right, so let's scroll down to verse 29 and let's go through the vocabulary. All right, so of course, as I always say, as we're going through the vocabulary, if there's any words you already know or you're confident with, you don't need to write, the same word or the same preposition down again. I encourage you, though, to write anything that's new, right, or anything that isn't committed to memory. You can write it down again, and you'll start to build up a full. Hold on, it's not sharing, is it? Sorry. All right, is it sharing now? You can see the screen. Okay, no sign of Christ. All right, so what was I just saying? There's anything that's not committed to memory, you can write it down so it starts to, you start to commit it to memory. Okay, so we're trying to get to verse 29. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so boom. So kaya, right? You have kaya, which means for or because. Let me zoom out a little bit. All right, kaya. And then bold it. Let me do this right here. Bold this side. And not bold this side. Okay, kaya means for or because, right? It can also, there are some other meanings. It could be when or if. So I'm gonna put for because. I remember last time I did this, which was last week. What did we do for kaya? It was because, when, or if, right? So let's do that. So for and because is really the same word. Just for is more Old English. So you could put because. So I'm going to put because, when, or if, right? So that's what I'm going to do kaya as. Okay. Let's go back. You have kal hanapash. All right. So we have kal, which means all, every, or any, right? Everything of this category, right? Then you have ha as a preposition. Preposition. Okay, ha is a preposition, means the. All right, then you have napash. Napash is a word which means soul. All right, it could be soul or individual. Individual, right? Meaning like a soul. It could be the soul of an animal, the soul of a person, right? Or a living being, right? A soul or an individual. You could say soul to mean a person, right? If there's any soul that does this, right? Which you're not referring to, soul as if it's separate from a person. It would be if any person doesn't do this or isn't this, Then you have ashar. What does ashar mean, Kayla? Which. All right, well done. All right, ashar will mean which, right? So any person, which, or in this context, it does it as who, right? But really the word for ashar is typically which. You can change it as per the context of a word as necessary to say it like how we would say it in the English, right? But it in its base origin just means which. Okay. And then you have la'a fa'aina, right? So this is like just as we did earlier where it was like al, then a verb. In this case, it's la'a, right? Those are the same type of word, right? So la'a is the negative, right? So I'm gonna put la'a, no or not. Or it's the, put in brackets, negative, right, of what's being said. You have tha'aina. So tha is a preposition, which means thou or thee. Tha, preposition. Thou or thee. You have aina, which means to afflict or to oppress. Right, to afflict or oppress. Okay. Okay. And then you have, right, who, right. So in this case, you have if there's any person or soul who doesn't afflict themselves or who is not afflicted, right? So if they've not afflicted their soul, this is referring to like the Day of Atonement, right? Where you would afflict your soul by fasting, by abstaining from water and food for a full 24 hours, from sundown to sundown. Right? So if there's any soul or any person who's not afflicted, right? It says, but I, go ahead, Kyla.
Do you have a question after you finish?
Okay, go ahead. What's the question?
Salakia, how do we know when to pronounce the vowel at the end of a word as opposed to when we don't?
So the vowel at the end of a word, when you say that, if you could break down what you mean. You mean like the wa? Like in this case, like the vowel at the end of a word, you mean like in this case, right? Like al thakathwa and kaya yakathwa or darakiwa. What do you mean by the vowel? Just want to be clear. If you could put that in the comments and let me know. Let me also get this up on my phone so I can see the comments too, so I can put it up on the screen. Okay, well that's loading up. All right, we have ba'itazam. Okay, itazam. We have ba as a preposition, meaning in, on, with, or against. Let's leave it as in, on, or with. But in some contexts it can mean against. Okay. Then you have itazam. Okay. This is a word which means body or bone. Right? Like bone of my bone or flesh of my flesh. Right? Okay, be bone, by extension, the body, or same, right? Self-same. Okay. So bone, like bone of my bones right here is literally the phrase I said, or self, could be same, self, or I'm gonna just put self-same, right? Which literally means the same thing, right? The self-same, like the self-same person, right? So it says ba itazam, meaning on that same, or on the self-same and he puts it here as Hayawam, day, right? On that same day. Okay. So you have Ha, which is the, we have that earlier. You have Yawam, which means day. Okay. You have Hazah. Okay. So Za is a word which means this. All right. So Za would be this or these. All right. So Hazah means the same thing. It would just mean this or these. Okay. Kayla, you had some?
You have a response.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not sure if it means Salak instead of Salakia as an example.
Okay, so hold on. I'm trying to get, for some reason this ain't loading up. Let me I don't want to stop sharing my screen.
Or Ashara instead of Asherah.
Asherah. Let me see. Let me stop sharing for just a second. Let me get this question because I want to answer this properly. Okay, so we have, put this here. You have there's one with Salakia. How do we know when to pronounce the vowel at the end of a word as opposed to when we don't? I.e. Salak or Salaki instead of Salakia. Okay, so when you say the vowel, you're referring to the English, the A at the end, right? In English, the A would be the vowel. In Hebrew, you have like the word Salakia is made of 4 Hebrew letters. You have Sa, La, Ka, and Ya, right? So that vowel you're saying is not really a vowel like in the English. It's Ya. It's the word Ya. It's the letter Ya, I should say, right? So you'd know when you pronounce that by, the word Salak means forgive or to forgive. Then the Ya means me. So when you're saying Salak Ya, you're saying forgive me. So that's how you know when to pronounce the end letter as Ya. You kind of need to know or be familiar with what the word is, right? So the word is Salak. Then you're saying Salak Ya, right? If you said Salak Ka, that would be forgive you, right? Then you gave another example, or Ashar instead of, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. I see what you're saying. Or Ashar instead of Ashara in terms of like pronouncing each letter. Okay, so I see what you're saying. How do we pronounce the last letter in the word? Okay, it comes with knowing the word. Now, it comes with practice, right? It comes with practice. A lot of the it basically, there's no other way to put it than it comes with practice, right? Like to pronounce this as Napash instead of Napashah from practice, from going through the vocabulary as I do each week, right? You want to go through the vocabulary, build up these words, know how to pronounce them, right? For Ira, where it says you have to look for the connectors. Now, the connectors are in the ancient Hebrew, but you won't actually see the connectors in the more modern Hebrew. So that's something that we've gone in, we learn how to pronounce the words, and then we put it back in the ancient with the connectors so you know how to pronounce it, right? But as you read in the modern Hebrew or the Assyrian Hebrew, it doesn't have those connectors to easily signify how you read the word, right? So that kind of thing comes with practice. It comes from knowing the words, It comes from attending the Hebrew classes, and at the end of each class, we go through vocabulary. That's how you do it. There's no other way than practice, There's no other way that I know. I got to go into a word. Another thing you can do as well, you go into the word. Like, let me share my screen once more, right? I'm gonna do this. Shit, it's full screen, right? Like if you go into a word, right, you have, go with Hanapash, right? Sometimes, and I say sometimes because you don't always want to rely on let's see. Okay, so I just share the screen again, right? You don't want to rely on what the oppressor gives you, but you can get some idea of how the word is pronounced, right? Here, pronounce the word as nefesh, because the Jewish man pronounced his pa as a fa, as an F, because he's a fool, right? But this word would be napash, right? You can sometimes get some instances of how you pronounce a word. Another way to do it, I want to try get an example of where it shows like a root word, right? Where you have right here, right? Even with this word, right? This word, you have Aisha, right? Aisha. Then you have this where it's put in the sentence or the phrase for Aisha. You know that this part is Aisha, and then you have a wa at the end. So it'd be for Aisha wa, right? So you can kind of go and find the root words and kind of look at it based off that. What's been added, what you know to be a preposition, what you know to be a suffix, meaning what goes afterwards, like that wa being it, like ya being he, or I guess no. Wa as a suffix would be he or it, right? Things like that. You can kind of learn that way, okay? But for the most part, it comes with practice, and I will teach you those things, you know? Okay? All right, so let's get back to where it was at. Okay, Ashar, Ba'itazam, Hayawam, Hazar. Right, so we just did Za. Okay, then you have Wana Karatha. Okay, so the root word here is Karath, which means to cut. Okay, or to cut off. Karath. So let's get this here. We have wa as a preposition, which means and. We have we have na, which na is like a, I don't know if it's per se a preposition, but it's something else. This ain't gonna help me. Let me go into it in the blue letters. Where we got Leviticus 23 and 29. So break down. The na is like a, it's kind of like a preposition, but it's a bit different. Let me see. Wanakarath, does it say? Right, Nakaratha. It's something to do with the hold on. Right, so the Y is like the preposition. Then you have this Nakaratha. Something to do with this like stem, the file, or the sequential perfect, right? I don't exactly know how to explain it, so I'm not going to teach something I don't know, right? But it's not necessarily a preposition, right? But the root word here, we'll just focus on like the prepositions and root words, so you kind of get the idea. Karath, which means to cut off, right? Or to cut. Right, like if you're chopping something and you chop off its leg, you cut off its leg. Okay, it could just be to cut in general as well. So to cut, slash. Then we have ma'ayin, right? Ma'ayin yaha. So you have ma as a preposition, meaning of or from. Then you have the word aim, right? Aim is a word which means people, right? It comes from like the word means together, right? And it came, people band together, like kinfolk. They band together over time, become a nation, right? Yeah, like a congregated unit. Okay, right? So I'm is people, right? So I'm Yahah, cut off from his people. Okay. Then you have Wakal. So we already have Kal, Hanapash, right? And any soul, Ashar, Tha'aisha, right? So we have the verb Aisha, which is new, which means to do or make. Okay. And you have Kal, Mala'aka. Okay, so let's get Mala'aka. This is a word which means your occupation. Right, so we'll put work / occupation. Okay, Then you have ba'itazam, the same, or on the same day. Ba'itazam hayawam, hazar. Right. So this. Then we have wa abadthaya, waha abadthaya, slakia. Right. So and then the word abad means to destroy. Right. Let's get the hold on. Let's get the word abad, which is 6. Okay, abad means to perish or to destroy or to break down. Okay, let's get where it's used. Destroy, perish. Okay, let's use that. So abad. Hold on. So abad means to destroy or perish. Was there anything further from that, like question or anything? See if it's understood, or I need to break anything further down. Was there anything further from it? La. Okay, no sweat. So I assume you understand. Okay. All right. So waha abataya is I will destroy. Right. You have ath hanapash, so that's letting you know what's being destroyed. Right. This ath here is a word that doesn't really have a definition. It's what's known as a direct object marker. Right. So it lets you know this object that follows is what the verb applies to. Okay, so what's being destroyed? The person, then hawa, right? The person that, hold on, let's get hawa. Okay, the person, okay, hawa typically means it's like he or it. Let me get into it. He, this, same, who, he, it, the same, this. Okay, so he, typically he or it. Okay, so him, so the person, it says that, or the same person, from, among. Okay, so ma korab. Okay, korab is a word. Let's get this here, which means it can mean war in some contexts, or it can mean to come together. Right? Let me see right here. Okay, among, inward part, midst. It comes from this other word, korab. Okay, which means to offer or to come near, right? Or to bring something. Okay, so in this context, this other word is a noun. Okay, so this would be the verb version of korab. So let's do that. Let's put korab as a verb, means to come near, approach, or bring. Come near or bring. I'll do that. Come near, bring, or offer. Right? It's used a lot as to offer an offering, or to offer a burnt sacrifice. Right? It's used a lot there. Okay. Then you have korab as a noun, which comes from that verb. Right? As we just saw. As a noun, it means the midst. Right? The midst, or inward part, or among. Let me see what it's mostly translated as here. Among, or midst, right? Or within. So midst, among, or within. Okay. Could also be to mean entrails, I guess, which is what's within a person. Right? Is the inward part. What's in him. Okay. Go ahead.
You have a question and comments?
Go ahead.
Salaki, sir, if I may, can you break down Ira and Abad for me?
You said Ira?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Abad means to, perish or destroy, right? We got that earlier. Ira, let me get the word Ira. So let me do it this way. Hold on. Let me do Hold on. Damn. And I'm assuming you mean as a name. Who does this question come from?
I think that's Ira.
Okay, so it's Banyamin, Yasharala? Yeah. Okay, so Ira. Man, what's going on here? I need this. Let's get Ira. Nah, not the. Yeah, Ira. So, Ira. Let's get this word and let's search it. Search it here. Okay, Ira. That's Ira. Okay, do this way right here. Okay, to be laid bare, to pull, to raise, to empty out oneself. Okay, to be made bare. Okay, right. So Ira, in terms of a name, would be like to, like, what's the word? Like when you come into the school and you shed yourself of the world. That's that you'd use Ira for that word. It could be to make yourself bare or to shed yourself, right? So that's what your name would mean, right? To literally to shed yourself, basically. Okay. All right. So I'm it's not to strip down and none of that. That's pause, right? It'd be to shed yourself. Okay. All right. So let's get back to it. And then abad, yeah, I brought that down. It means to destroy or to perish. Okay. Let's go. Korab is a noun. We did that. Okay, so Ima, or Ima is his people. Hold on. Okay. All right, so verse 31. Kal Mala'aka La'a for Aishawa. We have all these words. We have Chakwath, which comes from the word Chakwa. Okay, which all right, Chakwa. So Ka, hold on, looks like it. Chakwa, which is a statute. Okay, a statute or an ordinance. Okay, so I'm gonna put that as statute. Okay, then we have Iwalam. Okay, Iwalam means forever or for a long period of time, like as far as you can see, right? Could be let's see, the vanishing point, right? A time that's out of mind, like you can't even fathom how long this is going to be because you're not going to live to see it. Okay, that's what Iwalam means. Okay, a long duration, forever. Okay, I'm gonna put forever, perpetual. It could be a long duration, literally forever. That's just how Black people talk, right? A long duration. Okay, we have La Darathiacum. Okay, so we have Darath, which is a word which means your generation or a period of time. Okay. As a matter of fact, let me get the preposition La, right? La was a preposition. And I need to copy this again. La as a preposition means to or for. We have Dawar, right? Or Dar. This word would be. Okay, Dar. Which means a generation or a period. Right? Period, generation, dwelling. Right? So I'm gonna put generation. Okay. So Darathiacum, Bakal, Mashabathiacum. Right? So this word here would be what? Shabah. No, Mawashab. Mawashab. Oh, hold on. Yashab. Mashab comes from Yashab. What if this word would just be Mashab? I don't think it would be that wa. But let me see. Let's see if I can find an instance of it without that wa. Alright, leave it as it is. Mawashab. Mawashab. Did I write it? What's going on here? Oh, click this. Okay. All right. So, Mawashab, which means a dwelling place, right, or to dwell. Okay. So, dwelling place. Okay. So it's where people live, right? Your habitations, right? So I could put that as well. Dwellings, habitations, yeah, or in all your dwellings is how it would be said in the verse, right? But that works. Habitations, plural. Okay, that's good. Let me see if I'll probably finish. Let's do one more. Yeah, we'll finish off since this is talking about what the Day of Atonement. Let's finish off this, right? Shabbat, before it goes into the next topic, is the Sabbath, right? Shabbat means Sabbath. Shabbath 1, which is the next word, right? So you have Shabbat, which is Sabbath, okay? Then you have the next word, which is Shabbath 1, which also can mean Sabbath or it means rest, right? Which is what the Sabbath means. The Sabbath is a day of rest, okay? So Shabbath 1 means Sabbath or rest day, okay? Sabbath, rest, complete rest, Sabbath observance, yeah. All right, so it's the same thing, Sabbath or rest, okay? You got Hawa'ah, which means hit. It's like a he or it. In this context, is it. You have is. There's no Hebrew word for is. It's just implied. That's why I put it like this here. You have a lakam. All right, lakam means to you all, right? So kam, like at the end of a word, could mean you all, or this is like your house, right? If it's at the end of a noun, it means that belongs to you all. If it's just la, like laya would be to me, laka to you, lakam to you all, right? Then we got wa aina yatham, all right, which it comes from aina, to afflict. Now pashat yakam, we already have that. Batha, hold on, ba thashai, okay. So we have bars up, yeah, bar we have already. Thashai. This is a number. This is the number 9. All right. Then we have La Qadash, right? La is a preposition meaning 2 or 4. Qadash means month. Also means new moon, because that's what the months in Hebrew are based off, right? When you have a new moon, which is when you don't see the moon, right? When the moon looks empty, that signifies a new month. Okay, so month or new moon. So the 9th day of the month. But Irab means evening. Okay, Irab, evening or even. Okay, from evening, Id is a word which means until. All right, Id, like until. Right, so from evening until evening, so sundown to sundown. Okay. Until, as far as, or up to. I think until just works here. Let me see if there's anything else. for even until it's fine. Okay, until evening. Fashabathwa. So you shall do your Sabbath, right? Wa Shabbathwa, Shabbath come, right? You shall. It's like saying keep your Sabbath, right? You shall do the Sabbath of your Sabbath, right? You shall keep your Sabbath. Okay. All right. With that, that's the last word. Okay. I'm gonna leave this up on the screen. Let's zoom in a little bit. Or I can full screen this now. Okay. Get the last few words. Okay. So, are there any last questions? Anything else I can get to? I no sweat. Cool. With that, we'll close out the class. So I hope y'all, make sure y'all like this class, share it, share it to all your family members who celebrating Halloween. Celebrate, just sending the children out to pass through the fire, as Ragashi Allah put in the chat. Just send their children to pass through the fire in the name of Halloween, in the name of Samhain, right? In the name of some Celtic pagan festival, right? With that, I'm gonna go ahead and close out the class. Let me do the salute, right? So, ye men of Israel, I'm Madiam. So I'm gonna just go ahead and salute the brothers. I'm Madiam Shabbath. I'm Madiam. Hold on, take this up. All right. Hold on, let me stop sharing my screen. I can do that. And then do this way. All right, so I'm Madiam Shabbath, I'm Madiam, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatham. All right, Yad Yamata. All right, sis, you understand? Salute the sisters. Ye men of Israel, I'm Madiam Shabbath, I'm Madiam, Barak, Yahweh Shema Alatah Hashem Yahweh Shai. Mosiah and Christ. Yad Yamata, and class dismissed. Mosiah and Christ. The water for y'all for tuning in. I hope y'all enjoyed the class. Definitely, definitely informative. Make sure y'all share it, like, do all of that. All right, with that, Shalom Israel, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatham, Yahweh Shema Alathan B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, Shalom.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West.